Just like humans, cats can be sad, especially when they don't get enough attention, are left alone too much, miss their favorite human, or have health issues. While cats can't cry like humans, they express their sorrow in many different ways. You can find out how to tell if your cat is sad or downhearted in the following video. Number 1. Vocal crying. Cats do have tears, but these are only for moisturizing the eyes. Nonetheless, cats can cry just like a little child. In fact, a cat's cry sounds very similar to a baby's cry. This is because our feline friends not only meow very miserably, but sometimes even scream out loud when they are sad. Number 2. Sad look. Even without tears, the eyes of a sad cat simply look heartbreaking. If you are empathetic, you can recognize the melancholy in your furry friend's eyes. A sad cat's gaze even resembles that of sad humans or dogs. This is due to their facial expressions, which are shaped in a unique, unmistakable way when they are sad. Number 3. Narrowed pupils. But take a closer look. It's not just the facial expression that makes your cat look sad, it's also the eyes themselves. The pupils of sad cats narrow and don't change or barely change with light exposure. Normally, pupils narrow in bright light and widen in the dark, but in sad cats, pupils are generally narrowed, regardless of the light. Number 4. Lowered head. The position of the head also provides clues about your furry friend's emotions. When they're sad, they literally let their head hang. They sneak around with a lowered head, keep their head down when sitting, and barely lift it when you talk to them. Number 5. Downcast body posture. The entire body reflects the sorrow as well. Sad cats hunch, making themselves very small and appear sluggish. They move slowly, and every muscle in their body seems flaccid. Sad cats have a hunched posture when walking and sitting, and when they lie down, they curl up as tightly as possible. Number 6. Fast tail twitching and swishing. You probably recognize tail twitching and swishing as signs that your cat is irritated or nervous, but a twitching, swishing tail doesn't always indicate an irritable mood. It can also mean your kitty is unhappy. Number 7. Raised fur. Raised fur is more commonly seen as a sign of anger or nervousness, but it can also simply mean your cat isn't feeling well. There can be various reasons for this, and sadness is just one of them. Number 8. Eats less than usual. You surely know the feeling. When you're sad, nothing tastes good, eating doesn't bring any joy, and you have no appetite. The same phenomenon occurs in cats. Sad cats struggle to go to their food bowl, and when the survival instinct drives them there, they eat without any enthusiasm and leave some food behind. Prolonged sadness can make cats lose a lot of weight. Number 9. Refuses treats. A particularly alarming sign is when your cat no longer wants to eat treats, even refusing their favorite ones. Usually they can barely resist them, but in their sad mood they no longer find joy in treats, and suddenly they're not tasty anymore because the sorrow has ruined their appetite. Number 10. Comfort eating. Instead of appetite loss and food refusal, there's also another possibility which is also common among humans: comfort eating. The psyche tries to compensate for the sadness by seeking happiness through eating. But this only works briefly, and therefore your cat eats more and more frequently. If they are sad for an extended period, they might even become overweight. Number 11. Increased need for sleep. Cats who are downhearted spend a larger portion of their day sleeping. Cats already sleep up to 16 hours a day, so you might not initially notice anything unusual if your kitty sleeps a lot. However, if you notice they're sleeping longer and more frequently than they usually do, it's a sign they're sad. Being downhearted is a strain on both the mind and the body, making your cat feel constantly tired and wanting to retreat to their bed. Number 12. Lack of motivation. Even when awake, you can tell when a cat is sad. They appear lethargic and indifferent, and there's a good reason for this. Sorrow makes every movement a chore, and their previously beloved activities no longer bring any joy. Number 13. Doesn't want to play. Playing is usually the ultimate joy for cats. They love to romp around and also use their little brains, but due to their lack of motivation, they find it hard to muster the energy to play. They don't last long and aren't fully engaged if they do start playing. It's especially concerning when your cat is no longer interested in their favorite toy. Number 14. Doesn't want to go out. Sad cats often prefer to stay indoors rather than go outside for their usual explorations. They just don't feel like it because nothing brings them joy, so they prefer to stay at home. This point obviously only applies to outdoor cats. For indoor-only cats, this behavior is reflected in a generally decreased interest in their surroundings, and even looking out of the window doesn't bring any joy. Number 15. Doesn't want to come in. Interestingly, there's also the opposite reaction. Some sad outdoor cats go out as usual, but they just don't want to come back in. This is especially the case if the cat is sad because of their home environment. Maybe they don't receive enough love there. But it could also simply be that your cat feels more comfortable outside, either because they are distracted from their sorrow or because they can be alone. Number 16. They hide. Whether indoors or out, downhearted cats often retreat. To avoid human attention and be alone with their sorrow, they seek hiding places where they suddenly just disappear. Number 17. Staring blankly. Sad cats often just stare into space, for example at the wall or out the window, even when there's nothing interesting to observe. In truth, they're not really observing anything but are lost in their own thoughts, consumed by their sorrow. Number 18. Unresponsive. If you try to talk to your sad cat, they might simply ignore you. It might seem like they didn't hear you, and they might not even give you a glance. This behavior might mean they're disappointed in you, or they might just be so indifferent that even you can't pique their interest. Number 19. Seeking closeness. Some cats become more affectionate and cuddly when they're sad. They seek physical contact because it makes them feel better. Petting and cuddling release happiness hormones, so your cat might feel a little less sad when they're being caressed by you. Number 20. Avoids affection. However, the opposite can also be true. Some cats might want to be left alone and reject everything that feels good, even cuddling. They retreat into their gloomy world and might even get irritated when their humans try to pet them. Number 21. Scratches and bites. Scratching and biting are aggressive behaviors, but they can also be signs of sorrow. Since sad cats often want to be left alone, they might become irritated when their humans still try to approach them. They perceive this as uncomfortable, which they equate to a threat, and that's why they defend themselves. As you can see, the way cats handle their grief is as diverse as with us humans, and therefore requires a lot of sensitivity. However, significant behavioral changes can always have a medical cause. If you can't figure out the reason behind a certain behavior, it might be a good idea to discuss it with the vet. If your cat is sad, it could be because you're not doing 17 things often enough for them. Click on the image to the left to check it in our related video.